Hello, everybody. Welcome to the UA podcast. This week, we're coming back at you with the Symbols of Peace series, talking about the All Symbol and the My Hero Academia card game. I'm your host, John Jennings, and with me is my co-host, Ryan Kraft. And today we also have special guest, Chris Smith with us. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. You guys?
Doing well?
Great, man.
Great, yeah. Uh, so first off, we always talk about some current events going on in the card game. There wasn't a office this week, and there wasn't a whole lot of news, but we did get the actual official rules packet or rules book, which is pretty big. I know a lot of people have been waiting on that to come out, kind of get some clarifications. Initial thoughts, guys, on the rules book?
I'm kind of disappointed in it because it was basically like a glossary of terms, in my opinion. I know some other vets in the game were like, well, this is just a glossary of terms. There's no FAQ attached to it, or like how certain cards interact with other cards. Like the whole, like for example, like specialized sound waves, the Giro card, where it says after you play this attack, are we still considering an attack and a block a block? And you can't activate it on block. So there's some just little things that may need to be explained further.
I
In my
think
opinion.
I think that's actually in there somewhere. I remember reading that because I
Is
did a
it?
pretty I read through a lot of it,
Okay.
and I remember reading about that specifically somewhere. Not that specific card,
Newsflash.
but that
I
situation.
haven't read that. I haven't read that rule book in almost like 6 years. I mean, the old game.
Yeah,
I just get people to tell me the rules, so I don't like reading rule books. So yeah.
yeah. I'm not. I don't like the layout either. I was hoping for more of like I guess like the old one was, where it was just like the phases of the
Mhm.
game and like broken down by bullet point, because I think you get
Yeah.
more information that way. That being said, for new players, if they just want like a quick reference guide, if they don't know anything about the game and they're like, "What does this mean?" Having the terms there to be able to like quickly go to the page and find it and get a rule breakdown, I think that's really good for a newer player. I hope they do put out something more comprehensive later, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But I do think that the terminology clarification on a lot of stuff will answer a lot of the questions we have had about things in the game.
Mhm.
And I've
And the
seen
layout's
a
nice
lot
too.
of, yeah, I was just say I've seen a lot of players, a lot of newer players in the Facebook groups and that kind of stuff, posting random questions, being like, "What does this mean?" or "What does this mean?" And now, I guess to your point, Ryan, this will like, all right, here you go, just read this. It's got all the keywords.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what does charge mean? It's like it doesn't really mean anything. It's just an identifier on the attack, right?
Yeah.
It's just that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I sat down to read through it, and it's like if you start just reading through it to see what they have to say in there, and you're like following along, it bounces you all around the damn book to like every
Oh, okay.
section where things are
It's a
at.
choose your adventure book. That's
It
what it
really
is.
is, yes, and I wish it was like more linear about
Mhm.
this is how you start the game. This is the review phase, the draw phase, da 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 da, and all that from
Mhm.
top to bottom. But maybe one day we'll get that again.
I would imagine. I kind of think they wanted to push something out now just because everyone was asking for it. And then once like organized play starts, there probably will be more of a comprehensive thing. Because in the Universes LGR, it also talks about what the phases at an organized play event, like
Okay,
how what's the top cut breakdown, yada yada yada, and so forth. So
I gotcha.
maybe we'll
Yeah,
get
Yeah,
more of a comprehensive thing before that starts.
yeah,
yeah. I think
and I
they
mean,
said they
it's just
were. Go ahead, John. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I mean, it's just a digital document, right? They can just throw
Yeah.
stuff onto it whenever they want. So
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I do think they said the tournament four rules will be coming out sometime next year when OP season
Mhm.
started. So
I
maybe
mean,
we'll get some stuff in there.
it's nothing on the old Score Z the FAQ LGR thing. I think was like 75 pages and 50 of it was errata text. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm okay with a digital document that's only like 10 pages.
So
hmm
something I wish that we had for this game is, I don't know if you guys ever played Magic, but the MTG Oracle that Wizards does
Mm,
hmm
is really
yeah.
nice because you can like go to any card and there's like a list of every ruling, like official ruling
Hmm.
on that card, like down under it,
hmm
and it's like, oh, if this situation ever comes up for you, here's every ruling we've ever made on this card.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I
Um,
think that's been a request of some players in the community. It's just the fact of the matter is I don't think Jasco has the time to do it because they're such a small, outfit. But maybe now with the growth of My Hero, they could, get that done and maybe not have it on like, well, first I'd love to have their own app where you could go to, hey, look, find this card, touch it, and find all the rulings on it. I mean, you could probably get that on UVS Ultra
yeah,
if Scott wants to take the time to do it, but I don't know if he'd want to take the time to do that because that would just be a massive undertaking of Ultra itself.
Yeah, I was gonna say this. It sounds like it's gonna end up being a community project in the short term. Maybe in the long term, if the game blows up, they can get an
Hmm.
official thing out. But yeah, a community project that covered like documented all these rulings and put them on cards. That would be
Yeah.
fantastic. But
Mm.
like you said, it's a huge time sink. Huge time
When you
sink.
think about it, Ultra is a was a community project to begin with, so it's only like at least it started, and then you could have something like that. So,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna interject. But speaking of blowing up, we found, I don't know if it was officially, but someone on the Discord found the packaging for the GameStop booster packs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you have the images to pull up, Ryan, but there's 4 different versions. There's
I'll
the
add them
Bakugo
in.
SR and like 3 other, but it's gonna be like in a cardboard blister pack, like you'd buy like at a Target or a Walmart. So maybe that's going to be the big box packaging, and maybe we'll start seeing a game like at a Walmart or a Target, because I think that's where you're really going to find, oh look, it's My Hero, what is this, I'll buy it, spend $5 to buy a 1 booster pack. Yeah, it's overpriced, but you're buying it at a big box store, so everything's like overpriced. So
Yeah, that packaging
Yeah.
looked really nice. It looked like it was high quality. Obviously, you can't tell until you put it in your hands, but it looked really good.
I
Mm-hmm.
imagine it's going to be like, have you ever bought like a Magic booster pack at like Target or something, or that's like
Yeah.
just in a cardboard wrapper? That's
Mm-hmm.
basically what it is, and then you just you tear it open, and there's a booster pack in it.
Yeah. Now,
The,
do they
the
have
funny
plans?
thing is though, is if we start getting like, not like, maybe like, because they do like a packaging of 3 or 4 older sets, and then they throw like
Okay.
a new promo inside of it. So if the game picks up and they have like 3 or 4 sets come out, they can start doing like legacy booster packs where you have
Mm,
older sets with like a
I
brand new
gotcha.
promo to entice older players to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
That could be something that happens too.
Yeah. Now, do they have plans to release the rival decks in big box stores too?
I hope so, because that would be awesome. You
Yeah.
know?
I think all of set one is hitting big box stores at the same time, and that includes the rival decks.
That makes sense. I mean, I mean, you kind of have to. Sorry, my wife just sent me a very funny picture of our child. You kind of have to have the rival decks, right, to help people like actually build decks.
Play the game, yeah.
Yeah, because
Well, because like, well, I could also see them, instead of doing, well, I don't know if they're going to do this, but instead of doing the rival deck, you would have a Bakugo and then a Midoriya starter deck, which would just be the deck by itself. Because
yeah, I mean that's what they
$30 to
used to do for UFS,
$40
right?
ring may not entice people to buy it, but like a $15 ring, like on a Pokemon starter deck or whatever, that
Mhm.
you can pick up for like 10 or 12 bucks, I can see them doing that. That's more of a, I don't know, easier price
Yeah,
point.
because you can get like your kid's like, oh, I've got $20, I can buy a starter deck in 2 packs. All right, boom.
Mhm. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
that's
they've
the only
tried it.
down. I think that's the only downside of the rival decks, is like, man, cool, I'm getting 2 ultra rares with it, but man, it's still like $30 to $40, and I can't buy any more packs if like, kids don't have all that much money.
Yeah, and you really need like 3 to 4 of them if you're like really going to get into the game. So that's a really
Mm-hmm.
big leap right there to just invest like
Mhm.
$200 or
Yeah,
120, 160, like whatever price you're getting them at. Like it's a big
unless you get
investment to
lucky,
start.
and you pull XRs of the one ofs like this guy did,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
you only need 2. Then you only need 2. Yeah,
I need some XR latent skills. That's what I need.
I got 1.
Does it have extended art?
No, it does not.
Never mind. I don't need them.
No, it does not have extended art.
I'd say the foundations. There was some of the foundations
Some
do.
of them do. Yeah,
I
I
was
have the
hoping.
10 natural leader one. That one's pretty hilarious. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Well, what else we got?
the unofficial Asmodee ad leak for Crimson Rampage was leaked.
Oh, that's
As
right,
well.
because we saw the attack.
We saw the attack, yeah.
Which we saw part of the attack. We know it's a 5 diff.
Yep.
I
It's
don't remember the other. It's 4 high or 5
it's a
high for
plus 2.
5.
It's a +2 mid block. It's a 4 high for 5, I believe.
Mhm.
Yeah, 4 high for 5, and it has some text to where if there are at least 5 cards in your card pool, this ignores progressive difficulty.
Mhm.
For you vets out there, you'll recognize that text immediately. It was on a card called Zing, which was part of Skullman 33's support from Red Horizon 2 Tides of Vengeance. It was a throw. This does not have unless they add stuff to it, which I
Yeah.
assume they will, because a lot of their promo art for cards are just basic versions, they don't have all the text on it sometimes. So I wouldn't be surprised if it has weapon on it, honestly, because it's kind of like a stain card. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe
Kind of cool picture too.
Yeah, it's a very nice picture. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see more when it comes out because there was a couple things they've done in the past where they haven't shown all of the card text on the card, just the air of mystique. So you know.
Yeah.
And then the big question is, since it's a pre-release promo, do you need to pay for 4 pre-release entries to get a full set? I don't care. I'm gonna pay for. I'm gonna play in like 4 pre-release anyway, so it doesn't matter. But for the people who can't, play in 4 pre-releases, hopefully it's on redemption or you can win more copies at placing higher or whatever.
Or maybe they just have enough that I know like with Magic or some places or some other like LCGs that I've played in the past, when they did like a pre-release promo and you paid for the pre-release, you got a set of them.
Yeah, that's also
so maybe they'll do that too. They just give you 4.
That would be nice. Yeah, that would be nice.
So
or you get 2 of them, or something like that.
If this card presumably has infinity symbols on it, like other promos do, you think it'll have weapon keyword? What do you think it'll have any other keywords on it?
Probably Fury. I'm gonna say it's gonna have Fury on it.
I was thinking
I can see that.
Yeah, Fury and weapon makes sense on it.
Is this playable in Giro with weapon?
Ooh.
It'd be playable in the Momo too.
It'd get 1 billion speed.
Yeah.
It'd be nuts. Like, and say you staff strike 1 million times, that's on a 5 the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you're Giro, you'd want it to have charge though, right?
For damage, yeah.
Yeah, to get the extra damage.
But I've also noticed, like, this is maybe a good segue into what we're going to be talking about with the all symbol. But it seems like with Jiro, she wants speed more than damage in a lot of sense. Because when I was playing yesterday in my local, the Jiro player would, stack damage, and I'd be like, cool, it's like 3 speed block, or
yeah.
The only cards I was really afraid of were Home Run, Comet, and unwavering slash, because they had both keywords on it, and I was like, well, I don't want them to put a bunch of speed, so I was saving my the sound wave, the
specialized sound.
I forget her -3 speed cards.
Specialist of sound.
Specialist of sound. I was like, well, I'm saving those for her weapon and charge attack, so I can just block them here. But no, you're right though. Jiro would play that too. I mean, anybody that wants to play a long string and get bonuses off of it are definitely gonna want that card.
Yeah, I just wanted to be like 1 million speed so I can push 5 damage through. Sometimes that's all that matters.
Yeah, I mean, if they've only got, they got 3 health.
Yeah.
and even half blocking kills them, so.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. And it's off zone, so it's pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping it has maybe extra, because Zing, the card that it reminds me of, also had a damage pump on it. If you revealed, their opponent revealed the top card of their deck, if it was an attack, you got 3 damage. So it was like an 8 damage throw that ignored progressive. So yeah, it was pretty nice.
Nice. Well, I guess
also I was going to say also just to point out it is a first edition card as well. So the first edition is continuing.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Whatever that means to you guys.
Yeah, it means a lot to the collectors. That's all that matters. I mean, to us players, I don't think it matters much.
Yeah, I'm not huge. I don't care. I'll trade them. I'll trade you 2. My 1 first edition for your 2 of whatever unlimited.
Yeah.
I don't care.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
And then you just start playing with not first edition and non-first edition versions, just to really like stick the knife into people who are like, why are you playing different versions?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess that is a pretty good segue to go ahead and start talking about our symbol this week. It is all, and usually when we start it up, we talk about the different themes and kind of identities of the symbol. I feel like in old UFS, from what I remember, all was a punch symbol. I think it had weapons a lot, a lot of card draw, maybe some life gain too. Maybe not. I can't remember if that was one of its.
It was really the jack of all trades symbol. It didn't do something really good. It did a whole lot of things.
Okay.
Decently.
Would you say it did all the things?
Ooh, nice.
Just whenever I think of all in old UFS, I think of the Kin Punch deck from like the first editions.
Sure.
Because I remember there was like a Kin who like you committed him, I think, and you revealed your hand for like every punch card you gave an attack like plus damage or something.
Oh, really?
For every card in your hand, and there's some. Oh, God, I gotta find it now.
I know, like in just like recent UFS in the last few years, it's more of like a weapony card draw, ignore progressive type stuff. It really twisted the screws on the card draw part, where like it just drew a million cards because like if you look at the All Mights in this set, what's the current theme on all of them? They all draw cards.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Here's the can. He was 722, which is already
Love that
ridiculous.
stat.
Form commit, reveal your hand to your opponent, then draw X cards. X equals the number of attack cards revealed. And then he had like a from the hand action that had an enhanced, like where you give plus X damage, really X is the number of cards in your hand or something like that.
Kind of reminds us of one. Kind of reminds us of All Might 2, but in reverse.
Yeah. But yeah. So what are we talked about kind of like the themes or what kind of as well. What are some of the weaknesses you guys think for this symbol? What is it lacking?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, if it's a jack of all trades, its weaknesses shouldn't be too bad because it doesn't do anything really great, but it also doesn't have any like glaring weaknesses, right? I would, because like you got speed reduction on some cards on mediator and God, I already forgot the
Specialist of sound.
Man, I can't believe I can't remember that card.
SOS.
I always want to call it like Sound Empress or something. I have no idea. You get card draw, you get damage pump on a lot of the characters. There really isn't any glaring weaknesses, but there's also no really glaring like massive strengths. I guess maybe they pump damage really well. I guess so.
I do think it has a little. Go ahead, Ryan.
I was gonna say you get You're So Obvious as well, just for like survivability, just pumping stuff back down to printed, and you get you get
Villains
capture,
defeated.
Yeah, villains
You
defeated.
get villains defeated too. Yeah.
You get capture evildoers for momentum control and defense. And then the All Might DLC stuff as well. It seems like it's gonna be pretty solid, like the shuffling stuff back into the deck just for shenanigans. So it does some things.
Yeah, you can technically also play Night Watch, so you've got some negation if you really wanted it, because you're probably going to be playing either you're playing Eraser on all, so you're going to have Erase, or if you're playing all, you probably should be playing Capture Evildoers, because that card's really good.
That card is really good, yeah.
So you've got an action to fuel that if you needed it.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird that last week you guys talked about Evil and how bad it was, and now we're talking about all and about how pretty good it is. It's kind of weird, but like but if you think about it, like a lot of the characters on all, like, aren't they better off other symbols in a way?
I was gonna say, I think that's kind of part of the problem. It's a similar conversation we had with Evil, where right now I think if you look at these characters, you're like, I think this is just better. Like Eraser is just better off Void or Death.
Yep. And Jiro's better off of Air, and Momo's probably better off of Good. It's just, or like All Might 1's better off of Earth. It's just or Good. Yeah.
It's just kind of like you said. If you played any of these characters off of all, your deck's going to be fine. It just is probably more optimal under a different symbol if you wanted to now.
Yeah, exactly.
So if we've learned anything since we started doing this, the common theme is that if you're trying to play a symbol that doesn't share a symbol with the starter deck characters, then it's usually not the best symbol that's on that character.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah. Except for Void. No, Void does not have a starter deck symbol, but it also may be one of the strongest, if not the strongest symbol.
All right, so if you don't share a symbol with the starter deck character or Kirishima, then you're probably not playing the best symbol on your character.
Hey, we're gonna fit Ida into the podcast somehow, right? So
we gotta talk about him somehow. Yeah,
gotta fit him in somehow every week.
I am actually kind of excited for this episode because I feel like we're getting a lot of characters and support we haven't had yet in the series.
Sure.
So that's pretty cool. And just for characters, we've actually got, I think, maybe the most characters we've talked about for a symbol, because we've got 8. You've got 4 from the core set.
Yep.
I guess 5 if you're counting the Quirk Pack All Might. He's technically from the core set. And then you've got the 2 promo All Mights, the 2 other promo All Mights, and then Shoji.
So we at the same time have the most amount of characters and the least amount of unique characters all at once.
Yes, because there's 4 All Mights.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder: are they going to print more All Mights going forward? I would assume so until he fights, the big bad in season 3.
Spoilers.
I mean, we know from the first episode, right, that All Might's losing his powers.
Yeah, that he's losing his power.
Jason alluded to like they were going to get as many All Mights printed out as they could early because people that watch the anime know that he doesn't continue to be powerful.
Yeah,
We might get like a teacher All Might later or something, but
Mm-hmm.
that
yeah,
would
we're
be
not getting
cool.
like four All Mights a set. There's no way.
If you think about it though, his two symbols are all in good, and then everything else just rotates. So that's kind of
Yeah.
nice.
Mm-hmm. So I guess that is the question. Are they just gonna make a symbol for All Might for every character, or like
We're gonna get
12
like
All
12.
Mights?
Well, it'd be 10 actually, right? It'd be 10 All Mights
Oh
because
yeah, that's right.
he's always gonna have all in good. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I would
I
be
mean,
down for that.
he's never gonna have evil though.
I was
to
gonna
be
say
fair.
that they wouldn't give him evil, I guess.
Technically, if you think about it, evil doesn't always mean bad. It could also mean relentless and brutal. So he is pretty relentless and furious when he fights. So
That's true.
he could just have evil, because was it Asui has evil in the DLC pack, and I think that's just a toss on, but
Yeah.
That being said, Endeavor's definitely gonna have evil.
yeah,
100%.
he's a jerk, so he should. He's a jerk. He's a bad dad, but that's for a different episode. So
Yeah.
Bad dad.
But yeah, so let's see. So we've got from the core set, we've got All Might 1, the 5-hander. We got Eraserhead, we got Jiro, and we got Momo. And then from the quirk pack, we have the 7-hand size All Might, which is technically All Might 4.
yeah.
We have the All Might 3, or Gen Con All Might, as you might hear him referred to as. We have Shoji, and then we have All Might 2. And we've previously done a breakdown of our favorite All Might arts, and I remain firm in that All Might 2 is the best card art.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's the
agree
one
with
he's
you.
punching? The All Might 2. Oh, the one where he's
That's the
standing.
DLC one.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that's classic All Might. Oh yeah,
Yep.
definitely. It's class. That's classic.
I do
Might.
like so
I
when
call
we
him
did
Fire Might.
Fire Might.
I call him
Yeah.
Fire Might. That's
Fire Might.
all I'm gonna play him off of is fire. So that's you guys already done that symbol. So.
Yeah, whenever we talked about the art review for All Might, I like the punchy one too. I like the punchy All Might, but I like All Might 2 the most.
Yeah.
All Might 3 is a close second.
Yeah.
All right.
They're very dynamic. All the All Mights are pretty other than Small Might, they're all pretty dynamic looking. So which is kind of nice.
Yep. So I will say when we did our character rankings from the beginning of the set when we first saw everything, I know Ryan and I both had Momo in our B tier. I will be honest, I haven't seen anything from her to move her up or down. Ryan, have you?
I see tears when I see her. I see tears. She's definitely a C tier character. She just has to work too hard. She's my favorite all. So I guess this is a good segue. She's my favorite all character, but she's gonna be probably the best all character when we get like 3 or 4 more sets. So just because there's not enough weapon support for her right now.
Yeah.
She definitely would love another 2 to 3 weapon foundations in my opinion. Because in a deck like her where you want to have a weapon foundation come down every time you blow up a foundation, your deck is going to be all weapon foundations for the most part.
Yeah, I think I'd probably just leave her at like the very bottom of the B tier, like I did before. Because she can like do some things, but she's not a tournament winning character right now. Along with every other B tier character.
She's my favorite though. I'm fanboying, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
No, that's totally fine.
Yeah, she's a character that like I think we kind of predicted where she would be, and we predicted why, right? We were like, when she gets more support, she might move, but yeah, she's a plate spinner right now, and the payoff is not great.
Yeah. If we're looking at just characters from the base set, the core set, I think Jiro is probably the best all character. I think there's an argument for Eraserhead, but I think Jiro just has the best synergy because she can also use Momo support. Momo has several weapon and charge cards, which Jiro can play off of better than Momo can.
I think Jiro's the best staff strike character in the set. So
Now, looking at the promo characters, I really do want to make a Shoji deck. I think Shoji's really interesting. We've kind of talked about it last week with Evil. Just that form once per turn, just to pull any card you want to have your discard pile. Like, if you go second and like, oh, I was missing some key card I needed that I tried to mulligan for and I didn't get it, and then you just check it while you're playing your other cards. Like, oh, there it is, boom, play it.
If you think about it, like let's say with the new promo card we just saw from Crimson Rampage, right? you're going 5 deep and doing an attack turn. You only need 5 more damage to kill your opponent. Hey, look at that! I'll pay 5 life, pick this up, play it on 5, and kill you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he gets damage out of it. So he'll get so you're probably getting a +4 damage buff on it. Sorry, it's early in the morning and I was yelling at the video game screen last night a lot. But anywho, yeah, so you're looking at maybe 4 damage onto that, you know, and that seems pretty good to have in a character that wants to play like a giant string, you know, because he's just going to stack that over and over again on that damage.
Yeah, he's always going to find his piece for whatever combo he wants to do, which I like a lot. I tried making a staff strike deck with him off of all, just because you could always pull the staff strike deck. It didn't work out because it just wasn't, you know, it wasn't quite good enough. I maybe didn't put enough time into it, but I like the idea of being able to always pull off whatever you want to pull off because you're playing out of your discard pile. It's nice.
Definitely, I think the Gen Con All Might 3 is actually really powerful too. For all you Kirishima haters out there, he's a good counter for Kirishima. Just because Kirishima going into your opponent's turn is always going to try to have at least 3 cards and a really strong base and obviously pick up cards. All Might 3 says, cool, I hope you have more cards in your hand on my turn so I can pummel you to death with them.
Because right there, you're looking at what speed, right? You're just going to choose speed on that because you'd rather have him not block it. You know, so you just get free speed to everything, right?
Yeah, while that's true, isn't the play that Kirishima just plays down to like 1 card in hand and then picks 2 blocks up and blocks 3 things to not die?
Ideally, yes. But it forces them to change their strategy, I would say, right?
It does. Especially with like a 7-hander where they're usually going into a defense turn with 3 to 4 cards in hand if they drew, you know, if they draw more cards or whatnot.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, also that All Might's really not a 6-hand size card, right? He's an 8.
Yeah.
Just because
I mean,
he has draw 2 cards printed right on him.
Yeah, I mean that's every All Might, right? They all just draw cards.
Yeah.
Literally every single one of them is just like, yeah, I'm drawing a bunch of cards. Let's go.
All Might who needs to have momentum to do it, so it's a little more gated. The other ones get to do it for free, and one of them's a 7-hander, so that's all. You know,
So I know that Matt has not had a lot of good things to say about the All Mights in the set for the most part, but I like looking at them now more than ever. I think that all of them are actually playable. I think there's a good deck that you can build with all of them.
We have a local guy here who swears by 5 Might, and I've seen 5 when he's upped his Detroit Smash count to 4. Yeah, because he wants to see that. So he like on his kill range is 2 if he's lucky, definitely 3. And if you're not dead on 3, you're dead on 4 because he's going to have multiple Detroit Smashes. And it's not the first Detroit Smash that kills you. It's the second one that kills you or the third one in the turn that kills you. Plus, coupled with Kirishima's packages, he gets to like coordinate effort. You block that first one, he's going to coordinate effort, harden jab, pick up the one he just built and play it again. So if he gets that engine going, you're going to have to deal with the Detroit Smash every turn, and he doesn't drop below to 0 hand size. He's always going to have 3 cards in his hand,
right?
Yeah,
and then drawing more cards with Detroit Smash.
Yeah, so we had a new player that showed up last week that we had never met. They showed up with a bunch of decks, and he had actually built 5 hand size All Might with Detroit Smash, and he was like asking for some advice on how to play it. And I was like, look, man, when you sit down and play this character, use your form on every single turn. It doesn't matter. Literally, never stop using it. You're going to be 8, 7, 6 hand size, and if they're not dead by 3rd turn, you still got Detroit Smash, and you're still going to be like 3 or 4 cards a turn. But he was like playing against me, and he was legitimately just like turn 2, turn 3ing me with like multiple Detroit Smashes every game. Because he'll like draw up to like 9 cards in hand, and then he's like, "Yep, dump 3 to momentum, EX this thing up to like unblockable speed, and then powerful the shit out of you." And I'm like, "All right, I mean, I guess I die. Like I can't do anything about it."
Yeah, it happens, man. Yeah, it definitely happens. Yeah, we
like
had a new guy.
To
segue off yours, we had a new guy show up at our locals with like 4 or 5 decks, and he's actually in the Discord, and we've actually interacted a few times, so that was kind of cool meeting someone from the Discord. Like hey man, they're real people, you know, not just a bot. So yeah,
that's awesome.
I would definitely say the All Mights I would say Small Might still may be the worst of the 4, but he's still a 7 hand size X health character with all
Yeah.
that can use Detroit Smash and draw 3 more cards in a turn. So whatever.
Yeah, I wish his ability wasn't once per game, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're I could see someone playing a deck at some point that's running like 12 6 checks and just giving +3 damage to all their attacks. Because at some
Uh-huh.
point you're just gonna keep drawing characters and you're just gonna put 3 damage on everything.
Well, if you think about it, though, like you can just play him as a straight. Well, for the most part, he's going to be a 727 going into your first turn. So
Right.
you could still play him as a 730, 727, 724. It's still overstated.
Yeah.
And if the older game has told us anything, Worlds was won with an 8 hand size, 20 health blank character at one point. So
Yeah.
you don't need abilities to win most of the time if you have the cards in hand. So,
No,
It's true.
and you can play him off death. You've got super regeneration.
Yeah.
That helps him a lot. I mean, All Might has. I feel like actually you've got the good package. So you got some of Deku stuff if you wanted some other health gain if you want to go that range with it too. But yeah, just having a 730 who has a power that says draw cards and also deal 3 extra damage while also drawing cards. That's good.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
I think he's only going to get better. Like a lot of these characters, I think he's only going to get better as the card pool expands. Right?
Hashtag one set problems.
Yeah. I promise you, if Eraserhead ever becomes the meta, I'm playing this guy and I'm gonna be like, "Fuck you, Eraser. You ain't erasing
Yeah,
nothing. I don't care about my ability. I'm a 730. I'm just here for the cards."
Yeah, exactly. You don't
Yeah.
care what you do. Yeah, it's like Eraser to get into another character on all. Like Eraser really struggles against the characters who are like, well, I do this after the attack resolves, so I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't care.
Yeah.
Or characters
I mean,
who just like do their thing, like if they don't even necessarily need to do their thing, like so Eraserhead struggles against characters that are just like pure aggro, right?
Bakugo.
Bakugo,
Yep.
like Tokiyami. Like
Tokiyami.
I don't care if I can use my +1 damage, and I honestly don't care if I can pull back an action. I probably have pulled one back on your turn if you're not erasing me every attack on your
Yeah.
turn. So like
Sure.
if you want to discard a card literally on everything that gets played for every turn, more power to you, bro. But I'm still just gonna kill you.
Mhm.
Yeah. On the flip side, like your strategy like that is more, he's not going to erase you. He's more or less just going to hold cards in his hand to block everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of newer players fall into the trap. And when they say, "Oh, Eraserhead's so hard to play," it's like you really don't want to erase your opponent on every attack because you're going to. And what you really want to do is you want to strategize to where, well, I'm only going to erase you on my kill turn, and I'm going to erase you on the card that's going to kill you, so you can't do like. I was fighting a Nomu, and I'm just like, well, I guess I just erase you on my burst turn, and when I play reciprocal burst, I do it to like 30 damage, and you're blank, you can't do anything, you die. So
yeah, that's why Eraser probably does not see a lot of representation early on, right? It's because like you just got to learn those matchups. You got to learn literally every matchup and know when to do your thing. And if you don't know it ahead of time, you got to be able to learn on the fly and do it at the right time.
You've also got to be good at reading your opponent and knowing, oh, I've seen X, Y, and Z card, so we're going into this turn. I've like you were saying, this is going to be the attack they probably want to kill me with. I've got to start erasing so they can't set it up or something like that.
Yeah,
you got to think several steps ahead.
Sure, yeah. He is the thinking man's MHA character. He really is.
Yeah.
Because the way he's kind of like man anyways, he thinks ahead all the time. So
yeah. And he's actually a character that outside of like the actual cards, he's the character that benefits a ton from a no diversity format. Because if the meta shakes out and like Kirishima's the best deck, he can just make his game plan for playing Kirishima and build his deck around that, and you don't really have to learn all the matchups. You just learn how to beat Kirishima.
Yeah,
it's a lot easier to play.
Well, I know like the general consensus is if you can go 50-50 against Eraser and Kirishima, your deck is pretty good. You should be in a good spot. So yeah. He pulled his mic out. He's like, I'm hurrying. That's awesome. So many technical difficulties today. It's hilarious. So many
I'm leaving this in, staying on the pod.
I am pretty excited though for future weapon and charge stuff like that, because I think Jiro's going to be like we've already said, Jiro probably is the best all character just due to synergy, and I think she's just going to get better. Like I think that's like what the theme of the episode. We're just going to get better.
Yeah.
So as more cards come out.
Okay,
John,
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Back? Okay, yeah. If you're listening to the audio only version of this, for like the past 2 minutes, I accidentally pulled out my mic cord, and I've been frantically trying to get it back in.
if you are only listening to the audio, I urge you to go to youtube.com and look up our video podcast and see this because it will be there.
Oh
Hey,
yeah,
I
it's
did
just
get someone to subscribe on Spotify or
oh nice,
whatever
nice.
another platform other than Apple
Yeah.
Podcast.
I need to
Yes,
figure out
it's
what's causing our issues on there.
yeah. We're not. Yeah, if you tried to listen to the audio version on is it just on the Apple?
I think it's just on Apple. Yeah.
Okay, I have an iPhone, so that's all I tried to listen to it on. Yeah, for
So
whatever reason, it'll start playing and then just like freeze, and it's like, "Yep, we're done here." It's like, "Well, I got to listen to 3 seconds. Cool."
you need to listen
And
to the intro. It's so exciting.
So
Yeah.
the best I can tell is that the app was updated in like 2018 by Apple, and it's been a complete shit show for the last 3 years, and they haven't
Oh.
Sounds like
fixed
an
it.
Apple. Sounds like an Apple product, but
Yeah.
no one ever uses. If no one really uses the app, no one complains. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now that I've got my mic back in, as far as all characters, I think we kind of talked about this briefly. What do you, if you had to pick one all character to build a deck for, who's it going to be? Chris, go.
are we talking about winning an event or just playing?
Do both.
Dealer's choice.
Okay, well, winning an event, Jiro, for fun, I already have it built downstairs, but it's not all, it's off a different symbol, but it would be Momo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ryan?
For me, if I was going to try and build a competitive deck, I would probably I'm going to include DLC. I would try and make All Might 2 work for a competitive event, even though I will concede that Jiro is probably better. It's just not a deck that I would probably enjoy playing. But for a funsy deck, I would probably build All Might 1 for fun.
Okay, cool. I guess if we're going competitive, I guess I'd go Eraserhead.
Yeah.
I think he's just still probably the best. He's got 7 hand size, which I'm a fan of, and then just the control aspect and giving everything -2 or +2 speed is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's really good.
If we're going for funsy deck, I think I'm gonna go the 7 hand size All Might.
Nice.
And just I think you lean into just playing like 8 to 12 character copies of All Might.
Yeah.
In the deck, and just see
check
how bad
amazing
it gets
all the time.
Yeah,
You're like always checking 6s. You just raw dog
That
the
would be
turn
really
1.
good. Yeah.
The turn 1 D smash. You're like, here you go.
Yeah.
Heck
Oh
yeah.
god, you play the D smash, you drop the 5 hand size All Might on him. And you're like, oh snap, I've got 12
Yeah.
cards in my hand. This deck gets
Bro,
powerful 13. All right. Well, we're gonna take a little break. We'll come back. We'll talk about the rest of the cards. We've actually got one of each. We've got actions, assets, foundations, and attacks to talk about. So we'll be back in just a minute. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the UA podcast, the Symbols of Peace series, talking about the all symbol. We're going to jump back into our card discussion. We're going to start it back up with some actions. We've got 4 actions. Technically, 2 of them have the infinity symbol, but we'll talk about them in the context of all. First up, we have Erase, which, obviously, we've talked about it with Eraserhead. You know what it does. Stops your opponent from using their powers during the attack step. I don't know that we'd see a lot of play of it outside of Eraserhead at the moment, but you never know what's going to happen in the future. Maybe there's a character that gets printed that, the enhance that anyone can use to seal an asset or foundation. Maybe that's just great. Or maybe, I don't know, there's just some deck in the future that has a degenerate asset or foundation and everyone just starts playing Erase. So on the kill turn, they can go in and just boop, done with it.
yeah. I think you're playing like a bursty deck right now. I mean, there's arguments to run it to just like shut down You're So Obvious or something like that. But outside of that, I don't see a lot of decks playing it outside of Eraser.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna echo too. It's like if you see that one piece that really thwarts your kill turn, sealing it for the turn isn't bad. Even on the defense, if you don't want to get milled out by Earphone Jack, you could seal that, or whatever. But again, why are you playing it? Because you could just you can probably put in a better card. Yeah, it has a breaker 1 +1 mid, which is great, but that really shines in Eraser. So yeah, I've heard other decks like Shigaraki might play it just as an action, just another way to get rid of like wall clings or whatever like that. But that's for the death symbol, and that's already been done or whatever. So yeah, I think I'd say Capture Evildoers may be the most versatile and overall best all action, I guess.
I like that card a lot.
Yeah, like Plus Ultra and Go Beyond. Yeah. Those are promo cards with the infinity symbol, so they get knocked down a peg or two because they can get played in any deck. So we're talking about all. So like Capture Evildoers is really good because it hates on momentum and it clears your card pool too if you want it, which is insane in a format where you thrive on killing your opponent by playing 4 or 5 attacks.
Mm-hmm. It's also another card with Breaker because sure, it's got a +1 mid block and it's got a 5 check, and it has an amazing picture.
Yeah.
It looks really cool because it's a promo card. So it's got the foils. It looks really good, foiled out. The enhanced to steal momentum is one of the greatest. It's so good, and it removes itself after you use that. So if you know your opponent is going in for their kill and they maybe need a powerful or they're about to play Recipro Burst or something and they use a different enhance first and you're like capture all evildoers, your momentum's gone, you can't kill me with this attack.
You use it when they're coming to Detroit smash you and you get rid of that one momentum they need to sweep 3 and it's just like, oh cool, I live now. It's awesome.
It feels real good.
It does.
And no, obviously we can't do this off of with Ida because we're not talking about fire, but in that situation with Ida, when you could just steal the first enhance, and you're like steal the first enhance, capture evildoers, boom. That's really good. But in the aspect of all, in the eyes of all, it's still just it is a generically really strong card that I think if you have one of these symbols, you should consider running at least 2 of.
It's at least one in a one set world. It's definitely in sideboards. Maybe main 1 or 2, but definitely sideboarding it at least. At the worst, you're this card.
This I think actually, I'm gonna change something I said earlier. This is the best All Might art, by the way. It's better than all the characters.
He has the beer, right, or the soda, or whatever.
It's the soda with the sludge monster or whatever from the first episode.
And the foiling on it's amazing. It has the best foiling of any card in the set, I think.
It's really good. Obviously, we've talked about Plus Ultra. I don't know that there's a best Plus Ultra all character deck at the moment.
I mean Jiro, maybe? Like
Jiro, I guess you could.
She's a stat stick, so I guess maybe. And it becomes before the enhanced step, so you could pump your attack and then get the double on it.
I mean, you can. Staff Strike has big numbers, so you can use that on it, I guess.
Yeah, that would actually be dumb in Jiro because you play a charged weapon at the end of your turn, give it like +4/+4 or something, and then you double it.
Yeah. The only problem is you still have to play Plus Ultra at like on a 6 check or something.
Yeah, I mean,
that's not that bad. You stack your deck, you're fine. You know you're checking that.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Is specialized sound waves? Does it have all?
Yeah, but it's a flash.
So you can't enhance. Yeah.
Damn, that would be great.
What you do is you specialize sound waves, you stack 2 5s, and then you play your next attack, and then you play Plus Ultra on it and set it up.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. There's a little free tip for everyone listening. If you're trying to build a Plus Ultra Jiro deck, there you go.
I mean, we're not wrong. It sounds like fun as hell to play. You know, Plus Ultra this giant ass attack.
Yeah.
Kill you. You're death.
I'm trying to think for Go Beyond. I don't.
I mean, would All Might using any type of Detroit Smash shenanigans? You
pulling it back to make sure you can have it.
Yeah, you say you. I don't know. Like you say you have one in your. It gets it out of the discard pile, right? Yeah. So say you have one in your discard pile. You sweep through momentum, bounce one of those momentum to get that Detroit Smash back out of your discard pile. and then just go to the races after that. I guess I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Go Beyond just because it seems very costly as a 3-check, 3-dip 3-check with a really, really bad block. So I would probably say anyone that can get instant momentum generation would probably be your best bet, and All Might with Detroit Smash kind of fits that bill in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think part of the problem with Go Beyond is also Shoji just has all, right? Like you can just do that instead of having to play Go Beyond. All right.
I guess Go Beyond would be a really good. Was it the Alleyway Rampage card or whatever? Like you pick that up if you need one more attack, you just bounce momentum, play it on a 5, and murder your opponent. I guess you could do that too.
Yeah, that's a lot of work though.
It is a lot of work. So that's definitely a lot of work, but it's something. You know, it may not be the best play, but hey, if it gets the job done, right?
Yeah. All right, moving on. We actually have 2 assets to talk about, and we have
Talk
We
about
have,
new creation for 10 minutes.
yeah, I was
Let's
gonna
go.
say,
I'm not
quick
gonna talk
creation, go.
that long. It would be great if you can pull out. It's good. It's a good card. It has breaker. It has damage pump and damage negation, and its deadlock first enhance is insane. It's basically plus ultra, but for both instead of just one of them. My major gripe is that it has to be the top card of your discard pile, but it kind of synergizes with Momo after you blow up a foundation with weapon on it, or you discard a card with weapon on it. You can swing it to your card pool and swing it down with this. But I've heard a lot of people second guessing or like, well, I thought it said, first time I read it, I thought it said any card in your discard pile. No, it has to be the top card of your discard pile. And that's its only downside. But in a set with, I guess, really only 2 assets, it's pretty good, I guess,
Yeah.
because it has breaker and it gets you damage or damage redux. So,
yeah. My only beef with this card is when they initially spoiled the card. It didn't have any text or anything on it, but they showed it was the picture and it was an asset. It had a 6 check.
It was a 1/6, wasn't it?
It was a 1/6.
Yeah, it was a 1/6 in public play testing, and that was too strong. So they turned it to a 2/5. Yeah,
I mean, it's understandable.
It is non-unique as an asset, which is kind of unheard of. So that's really powerful. It's a non-unique damage pump, first enhanced deadlock murder die kill card. You know.
Yeah, imagine if someone went into deadlock against Momo and you just had like 3 of these out, and you're like, okay, every attack's doing your life.
Well, yeah, I've had that happen. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I killed Kirishima pretty easily with that.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Bunch of 12 speed.
It's the only time I've ever killed Kirishima with her. It's the only time I've ever killed Kirishima with her. But yeah,
never again.
Never again. The lessons were learned. That guy was like, "Nope, never going to deadlock against you." I'm like, cool.
Let's see. Up next, and the only other asset we have is Earphone Jack, which is another awesome asset. It's a 1/5 +1 high block, which is +1 high blocks are always going to be good. So even though it's unique, you don't necessarily feel bad having another one in your hand at all times for your defensive purposes. Yeah, Earphone Jack's ridiculous.
Ridiculous? I think it's really
I think it's really strong.
No, it's super
I don't think it's
game where people play 50 minimum and they're playing 7 cards a turn and they're checking 7 cards off their deck, and then you're attacking, so you're getting rid of more cards out of their deck. Playing a 50 minimum against a Kirishima that is more than 50 and plays Earphone Jack feels really bad, right? Because like Tony and Shane had a 1x in their deck at the Omaha Smash tournament. And they said, like, if they went into the long game, they knew that if the person was playing a minimum 50 card deck, they were just going to win because they would mill the other player out eventually. Yeah. Granted, it's slow as hell as a mill, but in My Hero, you're playing 4 to 5 cards. Well, you're probably checking 4 to 5 cards off your deck a turn. So couple that with an extra one every 2 to 3 turns, that adds up over time, and you're cycling a lot faster than you want to.
Yeah. I do think this card is incredibly powerful. I don't think it's as good in all. I think it's better off of probably air, just because it opens up the spectrum of characters you can play it with. You can play it with Kaminari off of air, where most of his attacks are charge attacks anyway. So he's getting the extra speed and the stun.
Yep.
A lot of Uraraka's stuff is charged, so like giving Home Run Comet that extra speed is really strong, or Pillar Swing when it comes out, that kind of stuff.
I mean, also, if you're able to, you could, like, off a good readying, passing the torch and drawing more cards a turn, or readying like a piece you need. Yeah, like anything, like just think if you were able, like you had to commit a defensive piece to try to kill your opponent. You didn't kill your opponent, but you hit him, and then you were able to ready something to defend with on your next turn.
Special Sam.
Yeah, it's just card's really good, and I don't think a lot of people remember, like at least yesterday, people were playing it in their decks and they were forgetting about the commit ready something at the end of the turn. Like,
it's the best part.
Yeah, like sure, you can use the +1 speed mill one, and then just if the last attack hits, remember to ready something, because you know there's sometimes where you go into a turn defensively and you're like, oh crap, I didn't ready that one foundation. That one foundation would have saved me, would have helped me live on a block or something.
Yeah, I think, I mean, some of that just goes to show you how different people look at the game, right? Because some people
Mm-hmm.
only see like that mill ability, like, oh man, I need the speed. But for me,
Mm-hmm.
I look at that card and I literally just see the ready thing. I'm like, I need to ready stuff. I
Mhm.
Yeah.
need I need to ready everything. I need to kill you or play defensive.
Yeah. Also, you can also play Earphone Jack and Villains Defeated. So if you're talking about the mill deck, you just remove all their attacks
Yeah.
with Villains Defeated and then just mill them.
You milled them to
Earphone
death.
Jack.
Yeah.
Ambitious.
It is. It's
But it's
incredibly
worth it, though. But
it's a very
worth it.
bad deck.
Yep. Oh yeah.
But just know that if you ever lost to it in a tournament, just go ahead and pick up your deck, find a trash can, put it in. Moving on to attacks. I think all has some really awesome attacks. I'm gonna say that. I feel like we say that a lot of weeks. I really mean it. I will say I think Ryan and I have a take on Staff Strike that Chris is not gonna enjoy.
Oh, trust me, I'm probably gonna agree with you, but I still love the card. I'm not gonna.
Okay. We'll just go ahead and talk about it then. Staff Strike,
Okay.
obviously, it's my most ultra rare.
It's a trap.
It's a
Yeah,
trap.
it's just not. It's not worth the effort you have to put in to get it to go off right now.
Yes. Currently, yes.
Yeah.
Like, there's only one real way to, like, if there were cards that say this card does not count towards progressive difficulty, like in Universes, it would be better. Like, playing it on a 6 feels way better than playing it on an 8.
Mhm.
Or like if you have to play it off a good and you play the Jiro card that, and while it's in your momentum, you flip it to give a charge or a weapon -2 diff. That feels
Yeah.
good, but then you're playing good, and why are you playing an all version if
Yeah.
there's a better good version
Yeah.
anyways? Which we said earlier, but yeah, for the effort, it's not really worth it. But if you need, like, it's a nice beat stick. Like, if you're not playing for the combo, and you get some nice card draw if you're able to throw in a foundation or two after you play it, like with quick creation or whatever.
Right.
You can draw a couple cards and then maybe play another one if you have enough foundations up. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta do when I talk about Momo cards. I love the Momo cards, but I just you can't see it if you're listening to it. I'm just shrugging. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, ultimately, this card feels like it's just like her. You're spinning a lot of plates and doing a lot of things, and then your opponent's just like, yeah, I'll take 6.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then you go on and you're like, you play your next 2 attacks and hope that you check well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, so this is like the embodiment of all, right? Where like literally we just keep saying that it could get better. It's gonna get better with more
Mhm.
Yeah.
cards. Yeah, this is the embodiment of that. Like, this is gonna end up being busted at some point, probably.
But
But just not right now.
on the flip side, though, like, create capturing net is fantastic.
I was gonna say that's probably I think her best attack is create
Mhm.
capture net.
Oh, for sure.
It's the combo is incredibly easy to pull off.
Yep.
It's got the stun 2, which is not many cards have stun 2 in this set. And it also it encourages you to play that to do the combo because you're like, all right, I'll just build this card and then we can go on and keep attacking.
Yeah.
Because if Kirishima's taught us anything with coordinated effort, building in the middle of a turn is ridiculous. So,
Yeah,
Good.
and I mean that's again that kind of speaks to the problem is this card's just better off of like good because you're like I'll play coordinated effort, create capture net, I build coordinated effort.
Yeah.
I mean, things like coordinated effort and building during your turn are just better versions of card pool clearing. You just get
Yeah.
more effect out of it.
Because like
Yeah, it's
you
a lot more
like what
value.
you said, John, you do that and then they block capturing net and then you just build it with coordinated effort and then you just look, I got a clear card pool. I can just keep swinging.
Mm-hmm. Then you play
I
hard
would
jab.
say-
You pick up capturing net.
I would probably say my favorite all attack, maybe Unwavering Slash.
Yeah, I was gonna say that card is actual nuts.
Yeah, if that card was a 4 diff, it would be an ultra rare. So if it was a 4 diff, it would be an ultra rare. Yeah.
Yeah, I like this card a lot. I like
Not
it.
even like with the Jiro stats on itself. It's like a 4 mid 4, but it has powerful 2. It builds you an asset. So if you discard an asset for its cost, you build it for free for the most part. And then you're able to ready something and then draw a card. So if you're able to stack the deck with, let's say, like Jiro, or you have like celebrity status with like the All Might card, where you just put something on top, you can make sure you draw an attack or whatever. You're not drawing blind. Card's very good.
Yeah, I seem to be finding ways to find this attack into all my decks that I want to build off these symbols, and then I'm just throwing in like 2 Earphone Jacks to get value off of all of its stuff.
Mhm.
I like this attack quite a bit.
Also, +2 low block,
Yeah.
which is very
Oh,
important.
yes. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, because I was actually working on a Kaminari deck, and I was like, do I put this in Kaminari? Because it's got
I
charge.
said yeah. I said yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get it in there.
It's it triggers his ability. He's probably gonna, if you're playing him off of air, you're gonna play Earphone Jack just because like we just talked about it, and this lets you draw cards on a 7 hand size character and ready stuff, right?
And stun with free speed is always good.
Right.
So like most of Kaminari stuff has stun, so it's like getting an extra speed when you stun them. So
yeah,
not bad.
Because you can run like Electric Jolt or something like that, clear your card pool to trigger his ability. Then you've got 3 or 4 cards in your momentum, like Unwavering Slash, powerful 2 for 8
Jesus.
damage.
Yeah, for real. You can't block it because it's too fast.
Yeah. I think the only thing right now with all these cards that can ready, there's just not a lot of good offensive pieces to ready up right now that are just
I think
commits
that's a
because
good thing though right now.
Do I know?
Honestly, I think that's a good thing in a way.
Oh,
because,
sure. But like for me, who wants to play this card and get value out of it, like I want more commit things that aren't flip. Because everything flips or destroys right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like it's really good with passing the torch, but then again, you're playing it off of good and not all. So
yeah.
In the context of all.
In the context of all,
it's good with specialized sound waves, right? It's good with playing defensively, but on offense, I don't think there's anything that you can do to ready back on offense that's really good.
I guess if you're playing start with the basics, which we'll get into that with foundations, that's something.
At least it gives it damage and speed, and then you ready it. That's not bad. That's not gonna lie. I mean, maybe the best thing it has.
I don't even know what that card is.
It's your weapon attack gets +1 speed, +2 damage for a commit. It's not great.
It's not great, but it's not. But like again, in one set problems world, it's not.
Yeah. This is the overwhelming theme with all. It's a rain check, right? It's like we'll come back in a set or two.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
and see how busted some of these cards got.
Is the DLC All Might Foundation is the destroy, right?
No, it's flip.
Oh, it's a flip.
Unwavering positivity.
Yeah.
Ooh, unwavering
staggering positivity.
Positivity. Ooh, maybe a combo there.
Yeah.
There'd be an unwavering deck in the future.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's staggering positivity. I was wrong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And obviously we talked about Detroit Smash. Detroit Smash. If you're playing an all deck, even if you're not playing All Might, you should think about Detroit Smash.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Really?
It depends because if you have
like a one of.
I mean, if you think about it,
obviously if you're playing like Shiro,
maybe
not.
Cards to spend. Like if you have 3 foundations in your hand, and you have a momentum, you can just dump it to get extra momentum. It's not horrible.
Killing them immediately.
Well, no, I mean you'd only do it because you'd be killing them, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I know there's a Mount Lady Earth deck that plays this in it because she gets tons of momentum for free. So but that's off of Earth, so that's not all. Again, this leads us into the problem where, I think I'm just gonna play this on a different symbol because
how many times have we said that this podcast? Like 8, 9, 10 times.
Like I said, we'll come back. We'll revisit.
It's definitely the title of the episode. We'll take a rain check.
Yeah, for sure.
Come back later. Yeah.
Obviously, Texas
Smash.
I was just about to bring up Texas Smash.
Yeah, Texas Smash is probably the best all around attack. Other than like Unwavering Slash and this, maybe the best 2 attacks in the symbol.
I think Unwavering Slash is probably the best. Texas Smash is probably going to see the most play right now.
Agreed.
Just because you've got the all punch deck is right there with a lot of All Might stuff. The combo is incredibly easy to pull off. The other enhance is always useful. A +1 mid block is always going to be useful. It's only a 4 diff, 3 check.
I really like Amplified Sound Blast, the 4 diff Giro Flash 404. People are not going to want to block a 4 damage attack unless it's going to kill them, obviously. But it's a very versatile attack in my opinion, just because it's off zone and it's a flash, and it's just like, it sets up me later for other plays like, hey, 2 less to staff strike or 2 less to unwavering slash. It sets up your plays later. It's more of a turn 1 poke card or any turn poke card where, this will come back to bite you in the ass later.
Mm-hmm.
Can we say it again though that this is better in air because you can just put in your momentum
Yeah,
artificially?
You just charged up, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, we're gonna stop saying it's better than another symbol. Let's talk
Yeah,
about the symbol for what it is.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna
Okay.
come up at least 10 more times.
So I really wanted to like Special Life Soundwaves when I first saw it. That 2-check is so hard to get by because I don't know that this card does enough on its own to warrant running it really with a 2-check. Just because it's not really a kill card. Maybe if you're playing Jiro, you're throwing it at the end of a combo string or like a bunch of attacks.
Yeah.
It's easier to get in there. But I don't know. I wanted to like this card more in playing it. I always just inevitably checked it at the worst times.
Yeah.
And when I played it, it didn't feel great.
I mean, you basically says Jiro only on it, but not, you know, because really why are you you're not really gonna want to run it in anybody else but her because it's a flash, so you don't really get any stats on it, you know.
Other than her.
You get to draw a card after you play it, but it doesn't really matter because you don't know what you're drawing unless you're removing the momentum to stack a draw and then all that. But really, it's really just a Jiro only card, and at most, I would only play it as a 2x and maybe side a third, just because of the 2-check. Like you said, it's gonna come up at the worst time. But again, that's the thing of 2-checks. You live by the 2, you die by the 2. You know, so. If you can get it off at the end of a string and it's like, hey, look at this, it has like 10 damage on it or something, you know, like 4 or 5 extra damage, and then you stack an attack, you draw it, you stack in a foundation, then an attack, you draw the attack, you have a 5 on top, and then you play the attack again to kill them. It's more of a bridge attack, I think, more than a kill card, in my opinion.
Yeah, the problem is you had to construct the ideal perfect scenario in which it was useful.
Sure. No,
and it's not going to be the case, right?
If you think about it, though, Jiro gets to stack her deck more often than not.
She does.
So, and again, it leads to my point of it's basically a Jiro only card, in my opinion.
Yeah, so like I think where this card shines is just making your opponent always have the 2 worst cards in their discard pile for any given situation.
Sure, you can do that.
I don't know if you want to play it just to like stack your deck because there's not enough to do that. Even in Jiro, like you're just moving around your top 2. If you put 2 more cards on top, like you're not doing enough with that, I don't think, to warrant stacking your own deck. But I think, you know, on a kill turn, if you can put a 2-check on top of your opponent's deck, or if you know you're not going to kill them, just give them like their 2 worst foundations. Like if they're playing coordinated effort, put like 2 coordinated efforts on top of their deck that they can't even play. You know, just hose them as hard as you can hose them before going into their turn.
Yeah, I mean, if you could somehow do that response like twice, like if you had 2 special heads. That'd be
really
make like a time walk.
Make them gray out. That'd be nice. And then if they're close to deadlock, they have to play a card, so they may go into deadlock, and then it's just like, oh,
that's true.
You know,
yeah. Any other attacks you guys want to talk about? I feel like we always kind of bypass the eraser attacks.
I really like the eraser head suite, but it just seems that he plays other attacks. I mean, on all, I guess it's what you're playing, right? You're playing his stuff and weapons or other combo attacks, and I mean, his other the worst thing is though, like he's looking for weapons and he's looking for combos. So you're looking at like a very small pool of cards if you're playing his suite. A binding cloth capture has a sick combo enhance. So like, because obviously you're eraser and you're gonna play. So even if you play capture evildoers, you can make them discard a card from their hand. You know, so as long as they don't have villains defeated in play, you're pretty much golden. You know. So.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess he's probably looking at the Momo cards the most, right?
Sure. I mean, Expert Flurry is pretty good just as a generic card. It's a 4 high for 4. Your next attack gets 2 damage, and if you get the combo off, which is any attack, you have momentum hate, which is really good. Which is a card I forgot about in my momentum article. Oh shit, I am bad. I am a bad writer. I am sorry, people.
That's fine. We've also got obviously the 2 promo. Well, I guess Mighty Punch is DLC, but you got Gutter Punk Elbow, which is another combo weapon attack. It also has Fury and Slam, which we haven't seen too many slam attacks, I don't think.
That might be the first one, actually.
Yeah,
that might be the first slam attack in the MHA.
Yeah, so we'll see if there's more of that. I do like Mighty Punch. I think Mighty Punch is a hilarious deadlock enhance. Just discard the top 10, bitch. Go.
We were talking about that villains defeated mill deck, so here's
Yeah.
another piece for that.
Yeah. Just gotta get your opponent into deadlock.
Yeah, I think out of those two, I like Gutter Punk Elbow more. Like, you're never going to cancel any meaningful ability with its free enhance, but I think with the combo enhance, you might be able to do some silly stuff at some point.
Oh
I
yeah.
think it's a potential thing. I don't know what you're picking up right now. Like, what's the best weapon you can put in front of this and then pick up? But it's a really easy
Unwavering slash, maybe.
Unwavering slash to draw more cards.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, that's yeah, I want to see something come out of that. I like that card a lot. I mean, printed 5 speed, 5 diff, +1 high block. Yeah, I like that card a lot.
Well, my only issue with it is it's a mid.
Sure.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not even that bad. It's a 5 mid, so it's not even terrible.
It's still pretty
it's a
tough.
5 speed attacks. Like,
yeah. I guess we can talk about double front beatdown in the context of neither Bakugo or Midoriya have all.
Yeah.
So you're really not getting the full force of this card.
I mean, it's in a one set world where damage and speed resets are pretty much none to like 2 to 1 to none. Having a hand trap isn't bad. You know.
Yeah.
Like, well, this Recipro Burst goes back to printed. This Detroit Smash goes back to printed. That sounds amazing, but you're also running a 1-check, which a 1-check for half a card.
Yeah, it's not great. Same thing with Crow and Frog takedown.
Yeah.
I would rather my opponent just kill me than die to checking a 1.
Yes.
Yeah, I would actually rather run You're So Obvious than the 1-check in which we'll talk about in the next portion of our show. But yeah.
Yep. And actually, do we have any other attacks you guys want to talk about?
I think we touched on pretty much
I think we touched on all the good ones at least and shit on all the bad ones. So,
so moving on to foundations. I'm trying to think. I feel like All has my favorite defensive foundation in the entire set, and Specialist of Sound.
Okay.
I think that card's just awesome. It has an ability other than giving attack -3 speed. I always forget about it and I never use it.
Oh yeah. No, I'm on board with you. I think that may be the best defensive foundation in the entire game currently. In my opinion, it doesn't destroy itself and it's not gated.
And it doesn't.
It's a response.
Yeah, it doesn't flip.
It's a response speed -3, and it has a low block, and it's just ridiculous. It's like an uncommon or a common. It's
a common.
Dumb.
Yeah.
It's just dumb for a common.
Just know if I'd ever drafted the set, I'm just drafting all of those. I'm gonna have like 9 of them in my deck.
Yeah. You're gonna be that guy.
You're never.
You're never gonna
ever.
I would say You're So Obvious is probably one of my favorites too, just because it's a speed or a damage reset. Just who cares if the punch gets speed or damage? You're either gonna eat it or you're gonna block it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It does roll a 4, but I think that's costed okay because of what it does, and it destroys itself. So
yeah. Agreed.
That's why it's a rare, and that's why I bought like 12 of them because they're like 25 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, outside of Specialist of Sound, I don't think I really have a favorite foundation. I guess like Destined for Mainstream Success. I like that card a lot.
It's cool.
That one's good. I mean, it can't be fixed. I feel like
it can't be fixed is one of the craziest, nuttiest zeros ever printed in existence of this game.
Yeah, to be a 0/5 with a +1 high block and to have anti-committal hate is really good. And playable while committed. Yeah. It's a flip, so it still hangs around.
Villains Defeated could be up there too because it has anti-discard hate, which there isn't a lot, but everybody plays Hard and Chop now, so. And then it also gets rid of an opponent's attack after it resolves. Yes, Coordinated Effort beats it, but in decks that don't play Coordinated Effort, you can play the long game where you start getting rid of their attacks, and if they cycle and get rid of more attacks, you're probably never going to die.
I guess the only problem with Villains Defeated is if you're playing it off All, you're not playing it in Kirishima, so it's hard to pick back up and reuse.
Pick it back up, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're not
value out of it, but
I mean, you're not getting the insane value Kirishima brings to it, but you're at least getting rid of something, and you're netting 2 health, so it makes you harder to kill.
Yeah. It does, and if you know your opponent's trying to set up a combo attack or something, you just shut that down. So even if you're only able to use 1 or 2, if it keeps you alive and it keeps something like, I don't know, Texas Smash from going off or Relentless Barrage.
So in this all mill deck we're talking about, you're running 4 this. You're running 4 villains. What's it? Capture evildoers, because you're removing their momentum, so you're removing their attacks from the game. I think if we can find a character, I think we can make this work. I think we got some big brain mad scientist ideas.
So
here, boy.
you've got to have a card to blow up your own foundations, because then you can play Shoji and just pull back villains defeated every turn. It costs 2 health, but then you gain 2 health, right?
What?
But I don't know that all has, because you don't have self-sacrifice, right?
So in the spirit of the show, check back later.
Yeah.
Check back later. Yeah.
It's gonna get stronger later.
It gets stronger later. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think all doesn't have a way to just blow up your own foundations at the moment.
Is all the only symbol that can't blow foundations up?
No, Void does it too. Void can't blow up. Yeah. Yeah, Voids can't blow up their own foundations. Because I've been trying to find something that can combo with Heroic Lineage to give my opponent's attack a damage while I'm getting underneath Deadlock and then committing for -3 speed. So there's nothing like self-sacrifice in the set yet. So
Yeah. Play Momo. Doesn't she blow foundations up?
Yeah, Momo can do it, but the issue is she can't pull. She can't pull it back.
She can't pull back.
She can only pull down unless you blow up villains defeated. You move it with quick creation, and then you capturing it net down. But that's again, you're spinning a lot of plates and not getting anything.
Yes.
So, yeah.
You just seem to be doing all this stuff. You're like, oh my god, this is so awesome. Your opponent's like, oh, okay, can I go? All right, I put my next attack.
Exactly. It's still game 1, and you're still on turn 3, moving cards around, and there's 5 minutes left in the round.
Yeah.
You know, I got this, man. This is awesome. I'm moving up. It's like the shell game. It's like you're moving stuff around. You have no idea where it's at.
Oh man, don't be that person in a tournament who brings a deck that can't even complete 1 game.
I mean, there are decks in the old game that do that. So
I know. I've played against them in old tournaments. It's incredibly frustrating. I hate it.
It just comes with the territory, man. This is card games.
Yeah, no, it is what it is. I will say, looking at Momo's foundations, does she have the worst foundation base in the set?
I mean, preparing for battle isn't horrible, but it's a commit, discard, withdraw. So again, I think kind of like how Tokiyami is, where his foundations really benefit him, her foundations really benefit her, and you're not going to play them really much in anybody else. Currently,
the difference is Tokiyami, a great character.
I mean, Tokiyami has a game plan. Momo just likes spinning plates. So you know.
Trying to think. Obviously, we've talked about Mediator, Nightwatch, and that kind of stuff in the context of Eraser. Another character whose foundations really benefit him the most.
Yeah, Nightwatch is something that you'd play though. Nightwatch, if you're playing if you're playing
Capture Evildoers.
You're playing Capture Evildoers. You're playing at least 1 or 2 Nightwatches for sure.
Yeah, it can save you. I can't wait for Staggering Positivity to come out. Just for characters like Tokiyami and Eraserhead, if you're playing against them. And
I mean, it will crap over Shoji too, because you can put away there. You can get rid of those attacks that he's gonna want to pick up later. So you just shuffle those back into the deck.
Yeah.
Sure, he may draw into them because you're putting them back in his deck, but you're not. He has to still work for it. It's not guaranteed to pull them back.
Yeah, exactly.
I
wish that flip too. I thought it was a destroy.
No, it's just a flip. I wish it had a 5-check. That'd probably be too good though.
Yeah, that's his first world. That's first world problems.
Yeah.
Pull no punches may have the best deadlock enhance in the entire game.
I think it does. If you're setting up the punch deck, the problem the punch deck has is speed, and this gives you almost effectively +3 speed.
Yeah.
On an attack.
Quick creation probably is better than this.
It probably is. I think pull no punches is more likely to be played just because
the issue is quick creation is a first enhanced deadlock enhance. This is not. So you can do this at any time, and so you quick creation, they speed reset or damage reset. You can't do another one. This one, if you have multiples on board, you can pop it all.
Yeah, it's a free enhance. It's not committing it.
Fair.
To counterpoint, not just to counterpoint, not to say you're wrong, but to counterpoint.
Yeah.
Because I would vote quick creation over everything too. So yeah, it's fine. But that's fanboy talking. So
I was saying there's different reasons for that though.
yeah, there's different reasons for that. Yeah.
Well, did you guys want to talk about any of the other foundations?
Celebrity status has been mentioned once or twice. If
Okay.
you have momentum shenanigans and you're able to draw, because since all can draw a lot of cards, you can, guarantee your momentum, your draws with your momentum being put on top, which is it's a nice piece.
Especially if you're trying to play the smaller hand size characters, like the 5 hand size All Might or something like that, where you do see less cards just because your hand size is smaller. This is good to guarantee that. It's very powerful.
I think your dog wants in on the shot, Ryan.
Yeah, she's making you doing acrobatics.
Yeah.
It's a nice theme we all have. We all have dog stuff, either dogs or dog stuff in the background. So
yeah. I see Joey's in the background.
Yeah.
The community and our audience who watches knows we're good people because we have dogs. And
That's true.
Joey can't decide if he wants to be in or out of the room. I think he hears a door open on the other side of the house, probably the door to go outside, and he hears that and freaks out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys have done this in previous podcasts. What do you hope that all gains in the future? Like, what do you want to see all maybe flesh out to be? Instead of being like a jack of all trades, what would you rather have it be really good at? Or do you like jack of all trades symbol?
I don't know. I think it's already just good at drawing cards and stuff. I think it just needs to embrace the weapon theme, right?
Yeah, I think just the full weapon theme, finding a way to utilize all the cards you're drawing, other than just the obvious ways of like playing them. I do like, because I think the 7 hand size All Might kind of fits that theme, where you're discarding cards that you're to get benefits for them. Because I feel like there isn't a whole lot of that in this set. You've got Texas Smash that gives you the discard to give something an additional attack later, but I feel like there isn't a whole lot of that going on.
Sure.
Yeah. The weapon theme. If they would just bring back Sagaki Offering, that'd be awesome. Cement the weapon theme hard. That'd be
gonna lie. I'd be very happy if that came back. Yeah.
Let's see. Well, I think we've reached the point of the podcast where we're going to try to predict.
Do we want to let Chris say what he wanted to see out of all?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Chris. What would you like to see?
No, I'm okay with what you. I agree. I would actually like to see, more like weapon, like obviously because Momo fanboy. So yes, more weapon foundations and more weapon support. But again, you don't want to see too much because then she becomes Kirishima-esque, where she's just like, well, look at me, I can do all this stuff, and then you're dead, But I don't mind it being a jack of all trades symbol. I would just like to see more, I guess more outside of like Detroit Smash and some of like the powerful type cards, like powerful keyword cards. I want more usage for momentum, like discard a momentum -2 speed or +2 speed, something like that. I know that means basically EX, but on a foundation that doesn't destroy itself, I guess, or flip. I would like to see some, I guess we have Jiro's card, but that's a committal, and I'd like to see, I don't know. Maybe I'm just asking for too much because I like seeing all the symbols being kind of equal, but again, in a set where you had a starter deck, there's always going to be better symbols than, because they have more support.
Yeah.
I guess I would like to see every symbol to get to a destroy foundation : effect, just so you can get out of deadlock if you're in it. I think every symbol should get that, in my opinion, just because it makes it fair across the board and not just certain symbols are able to get in and out of deadlock at will. So
maybe that's something we'll see in set 2.
Listen to my hot takes about the game overall, I guess, whatever. So.
Yeah. And that's just one of those things, like I think probably a lot of these cards, like you said, were made with other sets maybe later in the future in mind. So maybe by set 3, it'll be like the full card game is actually released at that point, right? Because they'll implement some more of the stuff, some more of the fixes that they thought about for set 2, and then even for set 3, and then even the DLC for those or other promos and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like set 3's got to be, All Might versus, All for One, right? Because that's got to be the rival box, right? For set 3. So I assume.
Yeah,
because
that'd be cool.
that would make sense thematically if they're going by seasons in a way. So
Mhm.
And do
spoiler
opposite
alert.
symbols.
Yeah.
Than
I
the
mean,
first set.
you're looking at evil getting its big bump you guys want. So, but you have to wait till set 3 for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
then
legitimately,
it's gonna be like Legacy UFS and evil wins everything for like 10 years. So
yeah, there's gonna reprint like Akuma, just hard control check hacks.
oh God, please no.
That's what One for All is gonna do, or All for One.
He's gonna get revoke. That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna have his character stamped revoke. That's what it's gonna be.
Bring revoke back, please.
No. We have it on Todoroki's revoke, man. It's okay.
Bring back revoke that shares symbols with Todoroki. Let's go.
We don't want to give Eraser another action, do we?
No, that's true. That's true.
I want to give him 2 cancels. But anywho, I guess back on the foundations, like you got, because what Ryan, you brought up Destined for mainstream success. So again, that plays into the momentum top. Like you got a little 2-hit combo there with Celebrity Status and then Destined. So
yeah,
you got your selective card draw, air quotes, if you can't see me when you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. So
yeah,
I guess what you're saying with all the discard costs, I guess, like, would you play Late Riser in some of those decks that have discard cost effects?
I don't know.
I mean, like Texas Smash has a combo, and you may get the combo off once a game, or twice a game, but like you
for
still
1 damage
discard off. At least you're getting something. I mean, it's you're playing it more for the speed than anything. So
I don't know. I don't know about that card. I feel like I would be upset every time I drew it because you're not always gonna be able to discard stuff,
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about I know Matt subscribes to cutting it out of Eraser, and I'm thinking about chopping it down to 2 copies for my.
I mean, the +4 block modifier is also kind of gross, right?
I mean, like, in Eraser it's +2. It's +2. So in a way, if you think about it, so but still, it still sucks. It's still basically a no.
It's still a +2 in a world of +0s inside of Eraser.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. Yeah, you're right. Or -1s,
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess maybe if you could get to the point where your deck was nothing but combo attacks, right?
It'd be worth it.
The problem is you can't use it on your first attack, so you're having to obviously set up something else to.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're basically playing for it, yeah.
If you're playing Gutter Punk Elbow as your first attack, you could weapon foundation into that and then pick the foundation up.
I guess.
But then you're checking on a 6 diff to have a 5 mid for 6 attack.
Yeah, that doesn't feel good.
Yeah,
it feels pretty bad. Yeah.
Then you're gonna check that double front beatdown you play, right?
Yeah, right. And then I'll pick up my deck and go somewhere else. All right, is it time, John? Is it time?
I feel like it's time. It's time. So we're
randomizing for the win.
Yeah, is it 1 to 5 now?
It's 1 to 5. All right, John.
I've got 2 weeks in a row.
Your odds are getting better and better to be able to guess. It gets easier and easier.
What's left?
That's a good question.
Air, chaos, good,
water.
Oh, really?
Water.
Oh boy.
Life,
yeah. Some bangers. We got some great symbols left.
We do.
Yeah.
Scripted.
I'm gonna say
it's
anime 4 because I'm gonna say we're gonna talk about life next.
All right, I'm clicking the shit out of this button, John, and I'm gonna look away.
I'm calling air.
I'm gonna look away.
All
right. So it's number 2. What did you say?
Damn.
Oh, that would be.
It's chaos.
Chaos. I like chaos.
Yeah, it's another good symbol. I feel like it's going to break up a lot of what we've been talking about before, where there's a lot of new cards we'll talk about with this one.
I think I have a feeling like when you guys get down to like life and like the end, like and good and stuff, you're gonna be like, well, Hiroshima's just the best on this one, and then like life's like, well, I guess Yuga's good, but
we may have to combine those last 2 episodes or something. Those last 2 symbols.
I think
especially if they have a lot of overlap.
You have a lot of people to talk about because you have you got the rival box with Bakugo, so you have like a whole another 18 cards to talk about if you want to. So
and air's just one of the best symbols right now anyway, so we'll have plenty to talk about in that one.
Oh yeah.
All right, so chaos next week. Come back for some sweet chaos action.
Nice.
Chris,
Looking
what you
forward
been
to
working
you.
on, man? You got any sweetness you working on? You
I
doing?
don't have an article yet for this week, so hopefully Drew or Matt does, because I've had a kind of a block. But last week I put out the Momentum, the love and hate relationship with Momentum, with some tech both ways. Locally, I played Ochako Air yesterday, mixing it up with some Denki attacks because I think mono attack builds are kind of bad because your opponent can just hold one block zone and then you play into it. But 1.3 million gigawatts, Marty, that's a card.
It's
That
a
is
really
a
good card.
card.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it next week.
Yeah, we will. Yes, we will.
There was a couple plays where people were like, oh, I feel bad doing it though. Like you throw that, they eat it, and then you throw another attack, they don't block it, and then you throw the throw, her zero gravity lift. They're like, well, I guess I take 3 and die because I don't have wall cling out. So, but yeah, like I think the 1.3 million helps you in the matchup against the wall cling decks because you can stun them and then commit them, and then if you have electric jolt, I think it is, where you can spot committal, and that card is nuts in her because you can attack, it resolves, you use it, you can pull it back, you can do it again, you can theoretically commit four foundations on 2 attacks on the same attack with her.
Yeah. And then
I think the big point is when you use her committal thing, because I actually used her committal thing on defense a lot to pull blocks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really depends on what your turn's going to turn into. If you can't kill them and you're just poking, there's no reason to pull back on your own turn, really.
Yeah, exactly.
But then if they don't attack you back, it feels bad. You're like, damn, I wish I could have pulled that back on your turn, but she didn't even attack me. Damn.
Yeah. I had a guy mention to me like, wow, all your you played like 5 attacks and all your foundations are still ready. And I'm like, that's just what air does, you know?
Yeah. Welcome to requesting assistance.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then Amphibious in her. Amphibious and Ochako is amazing. You know, that card is just bonkers. I do have a Mineta deck I'm looking at building off of order. Because water won't be as good until the DLC comes out with the Froppy cards. So I'm interested in playing the Mineta deck because I keep looking at his character. I like his abilities. I just hate the character in the anime. I just can't stand it. But
I think that's the boat most of us are in.
If you listened to the podcast last week, do not try and build Mineta off evil. You'll have a bad time.
Yeah, I know. No, it's off of order. Definitely off of order.
Felt really bad.
What are you guys working on?
Thanksgiving.
Nice. Yeah, Thanksgiving. This is the Thanksgiving episode, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Turkeys.
Oh, definitely. And football.
Yeah. Football and you know, embracing our American lifestyle, just overeating, watching TV, and buying useless crap, right?
Yeah,
it's the dream. Mainly, I'm just working on having 2.5 days off this week from work, so that's nice.
Oh, that's nice. Awesome.
Yeah. You got anything coming up, Ryan?
No, just maintaining all the website stuff. I did move all of the e-commit stuff under the UVS Academy umbrella, University Academy. So if you had stuff bookmarked there, make sure you go update your links. I'll have the link in the description of this. But yeah, that has all been updated to fall more in line and be less confusing for everybody.
Yep. Well, I guess that's going to do it for this week. I appreciate you guys listening. And for Chris and Ryan, I am John Jennings signing off from the UA Podcast Symbols of Peace series. We will be back with you next week talking about some chaos. Have a good week, guys. Thanks for listening.
Peace.
Anarchy! Anarchy!